Yo, so we're back with our next episode of Sryth Fantasy Text-Based RPG. Last time we did the Red Warren adventure here in Hawklore that comes up after you finish Proving Grounds 1. So one thing I haven't done so far yet is to get my experience bonus. So besides that, we're going to move on to the Proving Grounds. So hey, thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Let's go. So yeah, just hit the windowless building here. We can buy special bonus packs and stuff. I've gotten quite a few over the years, not all at once. Look, there's a Proving Grounds too. We gotta check that out. But I'm getting my experience bonus. Ooh. Let's check out Proving Grounds 2, what it says. I'm obviously not gonna go into it until I'm... Okay. Proving Grounds 2, their adventures currently comprising the second Proving Grounds series. Make sure to investigate these adventures and clicking the title and view the adventure. You may also go back. So this, I haven't met the prereqs yet, so it's not like a list like the Proving Grounds 1 is. Besides that, I wanted to go to the Sage because I have unidentifiable objects. So the Golden Ring of Valor, the Assassin's Bracelet, and the Silver Ring. So let's check out what those items are. I fixed my mouse so it scrolls less annoyingly. So Assassin's Bracelet gives me 1 agility, might, and luck, and 3 melee and stamina. What I have on is a Gold Band of Valor, which is better, so we're gonna keep that. And then Silver Rings. No. 2, 3. Golden Ring of Valor is very good. No, it's not actually. This ring is given to you by Groot Smell and the end of the Super. He told you that the ring was given to you by Zoltara, a mage who stays in the inn from time to time. He will not tell you why. Alright, what I think I'm gonna do is travel to southeast to Trinmore, back to my castle. We're just gonna drop some excess stuff off in my storeroom, which is gonna include this stuff, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Start. So we just don't need this extra stuff on us, you know what I mean? Already 24% encumbered. Alright, what I'm gonna do now, can I do the Proving Grounds from Tridmore? I cannot. So let's go back to Hawklore and hit it there. I'm like super tired. I don't know why. Well, I know why, because I haven't been sitting enough. So we finished Proving Grounds 1 at 96%, which I'm not happy about. And then we finished Proving Grounds 4 at 100%, which I'm happy about. And then we finished Proving Grounds 5, obviously because I wanted to get access to the Silver Crest and the Mage's Guild, so I can learn all the powers that I got in the beginning here. So we haven't done 3 or 2. So we're gonna go on and do 2. And here we are. The walls of Sryth aren't the only place that harbor danger. The twisting streets and narrow alleys of the towns and cities that dot the landscapes are filled with perils, both numerous and deadly. Trithik at dawn. The first light of dawn finds you in the streets of Adderstone teeming with adventure. So let's get going. A thick bank of early morning fog has rolled in to conceal Trithik's lower riverfront. As you make your way along the quay side, you are suddenly confronted by a dark shape emerging from the mist. A bent, cowled figure ledges out of the fog and draws up before you. Instinctively, you reach for your weapon. Your instincts have not betrayed you. The cowled figure raises his head, and you're horrified to find yourself staring at them wild, the wide, ravenous eyes of a wolf. The wolf creature snarls and leaps at you, its long claws outstretched to sink into your flesh. Snarling wolfman. I mean, is he a werewolf? Because I don't want to kill him, but too late. The wolf creature thrashes about on the ground and throws at death while you take a moment to recover your combat. A noise to your left causes you to turn just in time to hold two more of the wolfmen leaving you from the shadows. You have but a split second to act. Fortification! The two leaping wolfmen smash into a barrier of blue sparks that suddenly appears in their path of flight. With loud grunts, their two hideous creatures topple to the ground, but before they have a chance to regain their bearings, you set upon the monstrous pair. Yep. A ghastly howl goes up from last the wolfman as he slumps to the street to join his dead kin. You dare to relax your guard and spend the next several minutes watching and waiting, almost anticipating an attack out of the fog. When you're relatively certain of your immediate safety, you quickly search the bodies of the slain creatures and discover a leather bag containing a small amount of gold. You decide to dump the three corpses into the river, but a shock discover that in place of the three dead wolves they are werewolves. Take solace in the fact that whatever curse these people no longer torments them. You offer a silent prayer to the slain humans, dispose of the bodies in the most dignified manner, and you can accommodate before setting off on your way. They are werewolves. I knew it. And so this is just random things going on here. It's not like a long specific quest like Proving Grounds 4 or 5 was. While strolling along one of Trithik's riverfront streets, just as dawn is breaking, you startled by the rattling of a sewer grate a few yards ahead. Suddenly, the heavy iron grate is cast into the air as a thick orange tentacle shoots out from below. The tentacle lashes out in your direction and wraps itself about your midsection. You struggle frantically against the monstrosity as you steadily dragged toward the open sewer gate. Distraction. Even though I'm very upset about distraction because it didn't help me in that proving ground where I failed. A powerful wave of negative neural energy waves washes over the tentacle, causing it to release its grips as its coarser, sticky flesh begins to shrivel and turn black. Having released its grip on you, the tentacle slides back into the open sewer grate and disappears from view. You're about to turn and move away from here when much to your horror, a second tentacle shoots out of the shadows and streaks toward your chest. You leap to the side, dodging the tentacle by mere inches. Without looking back, you dash along the street while out of the reach of whatever lurked beneath the gate. You're not going to try to kill the thing and help people? Thankfully, you survive such an unpleasant encounter. You take stock of your possessions and spend the next several minutes catching your breath before you begin setting off on your way. Okay, the Britskirn gang. The first pale light of dawn in the cold autumn morning, and Trithik finds you making your way along a deserted lane in the eastern quarter of the city. As you near the end of the street, you catch sight of a group of 5 figures slinking through the shadows on the opposite side of the lane. Concealed in the shadows, you watch with growing curiosity as the group of figures move aside a sewer grating and prepare to descend into the makeshift portal they fashioned. Suddenly, one of the figures looks up and thrusts a gloved hand in your direction. You've been spotted. The 5 figures start toward you from across the lane, and as they draw closer, you're horrified to find yourself staring at the rotting faces of the dead. You defiantly hold your ground against the 5 advancing undead while your mind races to come up with the next course of action. "You're not welcome in Brizzican ground," hisses the closest of the hideous ghouls. "Run her through and collect her scraps," says the second ghoul. The name Brizzican sends a shiver the length of your spine. For it was the name given to the notorious band of cutthroats that terrorized the city of Trithik over 2 centuries ago. You have little reason to doubt that you've encountered at least part of the legendary band risen from the dead. Necromancy. Calling upon your power of necromancy, you command the undead to retreat. 3 of the foul ghouls are unable to resist your command, and they immediately turn and flee into the gloom. The 2 remaining ghouls stride forward, the larger. So there's undead brigands of this old group. The larger of the 2 wields a hefty hammer, but the others are not yet produced a weapon. In a raspy voice, the unarmed undead issues a chilling command to its hammer-wielding counterpart. "Gibbet, leg snapper, splinter her bones." Large ghoul lunges towards you, and its hammer poised to strike you a deadly blow. Or he's dead, and I have weapons that are good against the undead. The remaining ghoul draws a dagger and steps forward to engage you. 200 years of vengeance, salt does not end by your hand," croaks the dagger-wielding undead in a raspy voice. "Greater by you than leagues have been those who have learned to fear my name. I welcome you to the arms of death." And as you move to defend yourself against the ghoul's sudden attack, you have no doubt that you now face Chitolo, long-dead leader of the Brizikian gang. Undead master thief Chitolo, or who's now dead. Not sorry. 2 centuries of restless death come to an abrupt end as the undead Chitolo emits a piteous shriek and collapses to the ground at your feet. You make search of the enemy's remains and discover a sizable quantity of gold in a leather bag roped to one of his rotting waists. You take note of the dagger that is ruled by Chitolo, and it seems to be a weapon of great quality. Yep, hand it over. After disposing of the corpses of the undead, you once again set off on your way through the city, heading east in the chilling wind of the early morning at your back. I'm just minding my business around here. Alright, night patrol. Hit it. In the southern part of Trithik, just prior to the breaking of dawn, you encounter a group of 4 mercenaries nearing the end of a long night patrol. These hired fighters employed by Thane Pyro to help keep the peace within the city seem more often than not little better than criminal element against which they operate. As the mercenaries approach, the brazen band moves up and belligerently surrounds you. One of the mercenaries accuses you of being a thief owing to your early morning travel through the city streets. The others laugh and voice their agreement, and when their words and actions fail to elicit the fearful response they had hoped, the men become agitated, and one of them repeats the accusation while stabbing at you with his finger. Suddenly, before you had time to reach this unacceptable development, something streaks at you from the left. One of the men attempts to bring a pommel of his sword down upon your head. What? This is none of my business. You lean back, barely dodging the vicious blow, but by a fraction of an inch. 2 of the mercenaries immediately upon you, slashing wildly and drawing their blades. Am I supposed to do these? Oh, yes. They're just mercenaries, so I won't kill them. The 2 mercenaries stagger away from you and join their shocked companions. Without a word, the 4 men move quickly away from here, leaving you alone in the middle of the street. You can only imagine quite some time before they attempt to waylay another stranger in one of these patrols. You emerge from the southern district and find yourself across Blade Square just as the dawn breaks over the city. The Addison stirs, and the first signs of life take to the streets, and the report and its inhabitants prepare for the day. Part 2, Streets of Seer, Part 1. One of the largest garrisons of the Tissian army is located in the double-walled city of Seer, but by hardly means as a street free from danger. As you're making your way through the market in Seer's Grand Square, several panicked shouts suddenly ring out. You look up and immediately your eyes fall upon the cause of the commotion. A driverless wagon loaded with timber rumbles through the square, drawn by the team of spooked horses, who gallop with reckless abandon to a group of playing children. The children are oblivious to the speeding wagon that is bearing down upon them. How about we go with gating? A swirling back portal opens in front of the children. A second later, both the stampeding horses and the wagons of lumber disappear into it. The gate closes behind the wagon and reopens a few moments later in the less crowded section of the square. The horses emerge from the reopened portal at much slackened pace and rapidly slow to a halt. A raucous cheer goes up through the square. The crowd at the Grand Square, witness your heroic actions, gathers around you and erupts into applause. You humbly accept their gratitude. Thank you. And well are the hugs of the grateful children whose lives you saved before slipping out of the square and continuing on your way. Isn't that nice? Holy death, wow. That's quite a title. While travelling through the city, you encounter a horrifying scene. A group of men calling for help are huddled around a slab of stone. Upon closer inspection, you discover that a man is trapped underneath the impossibly heavy weight. Although the man is still barely conscious, you know that he is slowly being crushed to death. Telekinesis! Your body trembles as you channel the power of telekinesis and focus the heavy stone slab. Slowly, the weighty sheet of rocks begins to vibrate, and then suddenly it floats upwards several inches. You wince in discomfort as you maintain your focus on the slab, while 2 men rush in and pull the trapped man to safety. You release your focus, and the thick sheet of rock stone crashes to the ground with a reverberating thud. You met with several shoulder crosses and several pairs of hands slap you in the back as the formerly trapped man gasps for air and is tended to by several people. Miraculously, after several minutes, the man has shaken off most of the ill effects of his ordeal and appears to have suffered no lasting harm. He steps forward and thanks you profoundly. You wish him well and set off on your way. That's because I'm just so good. So good. Buck the Vulgar. Outside the Silverhook Tavern, in one of the least reputable parts of the town, you encounter a distraught man who tells you that he is just been swindled out of the valuable family heirloom by a merchant named Vark. You learn that the merchant in question, who has a reputation for having a violent temper and for having little respect for law, is known to locals as Vark the Vulgar. It's not likely that Vark would give you any trouble, says the man. Surely a woman of your stature would be given a fair shake, even from the lizard like Vark. After several minutes of conversation, you decide that out of pity you will attempt to retrieve the man's family heirloom in an ornate silver brooch from Vark. The man, who introduces himself as Pertha, tells you that Vark and his band of cohorts are still playing cards in the back of the tavern. You instruct him to wait here and cautiously make your way inside. At the back of the Silver Hilt Tavern, you find Vark the Vulgar and 3 of the other men swilling down ale while engrossed in the game of Traitor's Gambit. 3 large men stand off to the side, leaning up against the wall, and their hands move to the wooden cudgels that dangle from their belts as you approach. Vark, the rotund man, whose stature and demeanour seem equally imposing, looks up and regards you with a derisive glance. "Need you something from me, stranger?" he says in an annoyed voice. Not wanting to appear intimidated, you boldly request that he hand over the silver brooch you obtained by untoward means. Vark places his carved faces down on the table and leans back against his chair. He folds his hand across his considerable midsection and looks you over carefully. "Have a seat, friend. Traitor's Gambit is a game of choice. If you win, I'll see to it you get the trinket you seek. I don't recommend you lose." Buck nods, and one of the men bows. The card game stands up and offers you. Do I play the card game? Am I a gambler like that? Not really. Do I have diplomacy skill? Yeah, I do. You put your diplomatic skills to the test, attempts to guilt the unsavory Vark into returning the silver brooch. Your efforts have paid off. Vark has been worn down by your expert argument and creative rhetoric, finally agrees to return the brooch. Vark produces the silver brooch and slides it across the table at you. He glares contemptuously at you as he impatiently taps the tabletop with his thick fingers. "On your way now," he snarls. "You'd be wise not to show your face about it anytime soon, friend." Rise from the table and bow before quickly making your way out of the tavern. Pertha is overjoyed when you return with the silver brooch. He tucks the item safely away and tells you that he will never forget what you've done for him. Suddenly a sound from behind startles you, and you turn half expecting to confront one of Vark's minions, but surprisingly no one is there. You turn back to Pertha and are shocked to find he's no longer there. Even more mysterious than Pertha's sudden disappearance is what's left behind. Pinned to the edge of your sleeve is a white plume. What is a white plume? You're still puzzling over the odd encounter. You move from the Silver Hilt Tavern and once again set off on your way. Interesting. On the Streets of Seer Part 2. Oh, then we get to go to Salinas after this. Alright, cornered. The man you cornered in the alley has already slain 2 city guards and grievously wounded 5 others. Only minutes ago you witnessed a man's valiant escape from the wagon load of prisoners, where he employed some form of elemental magic to hurl bolts of lightning at his surprised captors. In the wake of his sudden attack, 2 of the wagon guards are dead and a handful of others left desperately clinging to life. Without a second thought, you took up the pursuit as he fled and chased him to the alley where you now have him cornered. From beneath a thick mane of greying hair, and the wild-eyed escaped prisoner glares at you contemptuously. "I'll be taken only as a corpse," he hisses, extending his arm, pale outward towards you. A blinding flash fills the alley as tines of lightning erupt from his hand and streaks through the air towards you. Yeah, the power of fortification. The lightning attack absorbed by the magical barrier you erected. The man curses him before he has time to react and leap forward to attack. Am I supposed to not kill this guy? Alright, subdue. I'm sure he's going to court where he will have his due. Your enemy topples to the ground and lapses into unconsciousness. 3 city guards rush into the alley, their weapons drawn, as they no doubt seek to exact a heavy toll on the man who slain 2 of their brothers in arms. When they see the body of the mage laying at your feet, they relax their senses, are quick to praise your skill and effort. The guardsmen hold the prisoner to his feet and drag him out of the alley, but not before thanking you for all your help. "This murderous time has come," says one of the guards as they depart. You make your way to the alley and once again set off through the city. And that means they're gonna kill him. City of Seer. While strolling on the narrow tree-lined avenue just after dark, your ears are met with the sound of chanting from somewhere up ahead. The haunting melodic chorus of voices is strangely intriguing. You find yourself drawn to it. As soon You soon arrive at a low stone building with a green door. The door swings open and you're greeted by a tall woman in long black robes. She smiles warmly and invites you inside. You immediately accept the invitation, unable to think of anything other than the intoxicating melody of the chorus of chanting voices that spills out through the open door to the street. Once inside, you realize something is dreadfully wrong. 5 black-robed figures, not Corond, seated in the circle in the middle of the room, rise to their feet and move to surround you. The haunting chants continue and seem to rise out of nowhere, as you can see no movement from the mouths of any of the figures present. As your pulse begins to race and your every instinct screams danger, you turn and reach for the door, but are horrified to discover that it is no longer there. The woman let you in draws a long curved knife as a sinister smile spreads across her face. "A lamb for the Jollareth," she says, as the others continue to close in around you. "A sacrifice of non-believing flesh fit for the dark god." You are certain that you now confront 3 bloodthirsty Corund. This is an enemy you know will give you no quarter. The eerie chanting rises in pitches as each of the 5 black-robed figures draw long curved knives and move slowly toward you. The chanting appears to be taking a toll on your resolve, and you find that your will to fight and survive is strangely diminished, even in the face of such imminent danger. The woman strikes first. Oh, she's dead. "It's vengeance, it's vengeance," until the 5 remaining Quran as they close in around you. "The blood of the unworthy will flow as the tide." 2 of the Quran step into the melee range, brandishing their curved blades with an alarming degree of skill. "Oh, they're dead." They're chanting. Yeah, same. The last remaining Quran raises his hand and an overwhelming sensation of nausea washes over you. Your eyes begin to burn and it feels as if every inch of your skin is crawling. And as the lone Quran closes in with his curved knife, your body fights to stave off the effects of the dark magic that assail you. I failed. Wave after wave of the foul sensation racks your body and proves to be more than your constitution is able to bear. The dark magic has taken a toll on you. Miraculously, you survived the ordeal, and as the effects of the sinister magic start to fade, you find yourself fending off the last of the Quran in brutal death to the heathen. Upon the death of the last Quran, the eerie chanting that fills the small building rapidly fades to silence. You make a quick search of the premises and are shocked to discover 4 people bound and gagged in the room toward the back of the building. You free the 3 men and 1 woman. They immediately embrace you, thank you profoundly as you tell you that the Quran were planned on sacrificing and eating them. Thankful to have survived the encounter with the wicked Quran, you are happy that you were able to help these people. You quickly set off on a way eager to put the matter out of your mind. Alright, it's a bit early, but I think I'm going to end the episode here because last episode was very long. And the next episodes will continue on this Proving Ground and probably just move on to Proving Grounds 3 as well. So that'll probably be the next couple weeks or the next week and a half of episodes. So hopefully that's not super boring. I don't remember. I vaguely remember doing this Proving Ground and just going through the streets and saving people and stuff, but it's not an overarching theme like the other ones are. So I see that, and it makes it maybe a little less interesting, but still fun. So until next time, thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. You know what I'm going to say. Peace.